This is New York, 1100 feet up, standing on glass, looking straight down at the city below. We had just 2 days here after our cruise, and we packed in as much as we could. Brooklyn Bridge, World Trade Center, the High Line, Times Square, Hudson Yards. But nothing else came close to this moment. Here's our weekend in New York. Hi fellow travelers, it's Ken here from Ken Travels 360. 2 days might not sound much, but with a little planning, you can see a lot of New York, from world-famous sites to new attractions that didn't even exist even a few years ago. We're starting at one of New York's most iconic landmarks, the Brooklyn Bridge Park. In a moment, we'll be walking across the Brooklyn Bridge into Manhattan, but first we'll enjoy the views here. From here, you can see the skyline of Manhattan, Brooklyn Bridge, and also Manhattan Bridge just behind us. Brooklyn Bridge was built in 1883, and it was the first steel wire suspension bridge ever constructed, connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn across the East River. Well, we just got on to Brooklyn Bridge. From here, we'll walk across to Manhattan. The bridge is just over a mile long, and it's gonna take about 25 to 30 minutes to walk across at a comfortable pace. As you approach the Southern Tower on the Brooklyn side, there's a plaque commemorating the builders of the bridge. Most people walk straight past it, which is a shame, because the story of who actually built this bridge is far more interesting than it looks. If you're curious, look up Emery Roebling. The views are spectacular. The Manhattan skyline, the Statue of Liberty in the distance, and the East River traffic below. The bridge is more than just a way to cross the river. For many visitors, including us, it's a rite of passage. That moment, you feel truly in New York. And what a way to begin our weekend! Just as we reached the Manhattan side, we stumbled into this, a seemingly endless stream of choppers heading into Brooklyn for the annual Indian Larry Block Party. Talk about perfect timing. Well, after crossing Brooklyn Bridge, we've come to the heart of Manhattan, the Phi Dai. And we're just actually right next to the World Trade Center, so we'll go check it out. Well, we've now arrived at the World Trade Center site, and right behind me is the 9/11 Memorial Pool. The two memorial pools are exactly where the Twin Towers used to stand. The water flows endlessly into a center you can't see the bottom of, symbolizing the permanent void left behind. Visiting these on a beautiful sunny afternoon is a surreal feeling. It's hard to wrap your head around what happened here a quarter of a century ago. Around the edge, you can find the names of everyone who lost their lives that day, as well as in the earlier 1993 bombing. So next, this afternoon, we are gonna go up there to Edge, one of the newest observatory in New York City. So to get to Edge, instead of taking the subway, we're gonna walk along the High Line to get there. We actually done the High Line last week before the cruise already, and it was much less crowded. We have come to the Hudson Yards, one of New York's newest neighborhoods. Built upon active train tracks, this massive development opened in 2019 and has quickly become a must-see. At the center of it all is Vessel, a striking 150-foot structure made up of staircases and landings. Just steps away from Vessel is our next stop, Edge, the highest outdoor sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. So we have pre-booked tickets, so we got straight in. Next, we have to go through security. After security, they take souvenir photos of you if you are interested. And then you go through this long, dark multimedia tunnel. They're definitely building up the hype before you get to the elevator. It almost feels like you're waiting in line for a Disney ride. Anyway, let's get into the elevator. Let's head outside. Saturday late afternoon is probably the most crowded time to visit. It feels like everyone wants to be here right now, and honestly, I can't blame them. We're about to see one of the most breathtaking views in the entire city. Wow, just wow. I have seen New York from the air before, flying in and out, but nothing like this. This is incredible. Okay, behind me, this glass wall is terrifying in the best way possible. You're literally standing 1,000 feet up, looking straight down the street below. And then there are these skyline steps, which takes you even further within the deck itself. From up here, you get this perfect view stretching from the Statue of Liberty in one direction, all the way up to the Bronx in the other. Well, if the weather gets a bit windy or too cold outside, then you can come inside to enjoy the view as well. Because the outside deck mostly faces downtown, the indoors observatory is the only way you're gonna get a view of the uptown. I love the view of Central Park from here, and it's fun to spot the Intrepid Museum as well. They also have these indoor sculptures around that frame some of the most famous buildings in New York. This one, we've got the Empire State Building. It's probably the most goated photo spot here, so don't skip it. If you've been enjoying this video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel with notifications enabled. That way, you'll be notified whenever I release new videos. Now, it's time for the sunset view. And honestly, this view is beyond goated. You've got the low sun just shimmering off the Hudson River, and all the brownstones down in Chelsea are looking stunning. It seriously felt like we hit the jackpot for photography here. But of course, we actually planned it like this on purpose. There's no time limit once you're up here, so if you plan it right, you can capture the space in totally different lights. Definitely the ultimate way to do it. Well, since we already caught the sunset, we figured we might as well camp out a little longer to see Manhattan completely light up in the dark. And wow, once the sun goes down, the entire city just transforms into this massive glowing grid. You've got the skyscrapers glowing all the way to the horizon, and you can almost see the sea of yellow taxi lights down on the streets. This is turning out to be the highlight of this New York weekend. Of course, by this time, the whole place is even more crowded than ever. Turns out everyone has the exact same idea to camp out for the different views. But after visiting the Edge, we have one more destination to go, and as it's night time, where better to go than Times Square? Steve, we've got to the most iconic place in New York, probably. Well, after the experience at Times Square, we've got back to our Chelsea neighborhood and we went to a diner for dinner. I got to show you my lasagna. It's enormous. And Steve's got a Philly cheesesteak. It's not small either, is it? Well, good morning. It's day 2 of our New York City weekend, and we've got a bit more exploring to do before heading to the airport later today. Yesterday, we packed in so much, but there were so many people on the High Line, and we didn't have time to enter vessels. So, we've decided to start with those this morning. The High Line is one of the most unique parks in New York. It was built on an elevated railway line that used to carry freight trains through this part of Manhattan. Rather than tearing it down, the city turned it into this amazing urban green space. The High Line stretches for 1.5 miles, connecting Hudson Yards to the Meatpacking District. With the High Line, I love how it weaves right through the buildings. You get these different perspectives of the city you just can't see from street level. And because it's elevated, it feels like a quiet escape above all the traffic and noise. Along the way, there are art installations, sitting areas, and even little pop-up vendors. It's a mix of nature, design, and city life all in one. Right, we've got to Hudson Yards again. We'll now head straight to Wessel. Wessel has become one of the city's most striking landmarks in recent years. It's like a giant honeycomb made of staircases. We actually saw the vessel from the water during our sail away on Norwegian Aqua last week. But standing here at the base, you really appreciate the scale and the detail of the design. The way it reflects the surrounding buildings makes it feel almost alive, constantly changing with the lights and the time of the day. We didn't buy the tickets beforehand. We were trying to get it on the spot here, and they were trying to charge the full price, which was $37 for two. So we went to the website right away and noticed there is actually a half price offer, and we managed to get two tickets for $20, which was much better value. So always check on the website and maybe buy it beforehand. So we just made it inside. It's wild looking out from the center, and it honestly feels like you're standing at the bottom of a massive high-tech copper cage. And I'm happy that they actually have staff right here in the middle, taking photos and videos like this for visitors. Alright, here we go. We just started the climb. And even from the first level, the views are already pretty cool. You can see Hudson Yards, the train yards that is, the surrounding skyscrapers, and the High Line weaving through the area below. The design encourages you to pause at each platform, taking the view and look at the city from different angles. It's not just about rushing to the top, it's about exploring the structure as you go. When it first opened, you could actually climb all the way up to the top for free. But after several tragic incidents, the structure was closed for a while. It seems reopened with new safety measures, including meshes being installed and the very top levels still closed off. But even if you don't climb it, just seeing it from the ground is absolutely worth it. If you're visiting Hudson Yards, I would say Wessel is absolutely worth doing, especially now that you can actually climb it again. Just pace yourself, there are lots of steps. Once we made it to the top, we actually decided to take the glass elevator back down to get a completely different perspective. Just a heads up though, it's pretty small and only fits about 6 people at a time, so you might have to wait a bit if it's busy. Well, we're back on the High Line and we're heading to Pier 57, where we'll check out the last attraction for our trip. Just a short 1-mile walk from Wessel on the High Line is Pier 57, one of New York's newest public spaces. It used to be a shipping terminal, but today it's been completely transformed. Parts food hall, parts creative workspace, and on the roof, a park with some of the best free views in the cities. Wow, what a fantastic spot! From up here, you can see the little island floating in the river, Lower Manhattan way off in the distance, and the whole Hudson Yards development behind us. It's a completely free public space, and what I love most is how open it feels. There's plenty of seating here and also wide grassy areas, and just enough height to give you this panoramic view without feeling disconnected from the city. Well, this is a perfect place to end our weekend. It's really a great bonus to tag on a weekend break after our cruise. We've got to see so many New York icons, the High Line, Brooklyn Bridge, all these new attractions at Hudson Yards, Edge, and Wessel. And I hope you've enjoyed this adventure with us. Thanks for joining us in the Big Apple. If you haven't watched our videos on our cruise from New York to Bermuda, why not check them out next? See you over there. Ciao.